All right, BMW family, I want to make this video, but before I start, I want to make a disclaimer. I'm not here to hurt any competitor. That's not the purpose of the video. The video is here simply to educate consumers on something they should be aware of. And I want to talk a little bit about a pad that is very popular. It's called the Isweep 1500. It's been out for a long time, and kudos to them for being first to market. What I would say is the consumers should be aware that in modern times, there are much better pad frictions out there, and that the data is very clear for all to see. And so the first thing I want to do, I want to start with talking about your factory pads. So right off the bat, all DOT certified brake pads in the US by law are required to show their basically friction coefficient data. So you'll see that your front, this is off of my 2025 M2, your front pads are a GG rated pad. The first letter represents the normal or cold friction. That's basically right out the garage in the morning. And then this is your hot friction. So this pad is rated GG in the front. And then the rear, the pad is rated GF, okay? So your rear pads have a little bit less stopping power than your front pads, which I get it. You know, these are predominantly a front braking bias car. They've got a large front caliper, so I understand why they did what they did. So anyway, this is a GG rated pad. Now, let's talk about what that actually means to you. This is an SAE standard. This is a test standard. And the G rated would be a mu of a friction coefficient of 0.45 up to 0.55, both cold and hot. So it's a very stable friction across a broad temperature range, okay? Now, let me say this. There's a lot of hype on the Isweep 1500 pad, and kudos to them for being, in my opinion, first to market, one of the first ceramic pads, because the biggest issue that this car has is brake dust. And you know, from the minute you buy the car, it's probably one of the worst dust pads I have ever seen. It has super high, super fast wear. So the faster the wear of the pad, the more dust you're gonna get, which should make sense. The pad breaks down, you get a lot of dust. So one of the first things that everyone recognized in the M's was, hey, we probably should change the pads out. And the solution for that is a ceramic friction. Ceramic frictions have a much longer life. They wear much slower. You get no noise. You get incredibly low dust. So a ceramic pad for a street car, 100% the way to go. Kudos to the community for figuring that out fast. The problem is the pad that was first to market has a very low friction coefficient that is actually much worse than your factory pads, which are actually pretty good from a performance standpoint. You just have a dust problem. So this is not my data. This is Isweep's own data. You can go to their own website. You can get this data for yourself. This is not taking a shot at them. But if you look at the 1500, your friction coefficient, okay, is cold. This is cold, 400 degrees Celsius, 0.35 to 0.38. So that would be 0.35 to 0.38 would be an F, okay? So that would be a lower cold bite, so less cold bite than your factory semi-metallic pad, which this is. And then the hot bite is very poor. So the hot bite is 0.28 to 0.30. So that's going to be an E. So you're an F cold and an E hot. So you're going to actually see brake performance decline as the pad warms up. So you do not want to track on this pad. I would even be careful aggressively street driving on this pad. Again, this is not my opinion. This is data, and I think data is important. And by law, we have to publish this data on our pad. So anyway, that's the data on the Isweep 1500. Now, they do have low dust because it's a ceramic. You're gonna get low noise, maybe no noise. So I do think a ceramic is the way to go, okay? Not disputing that. What I would say is the brake performance of this pad is gonna be quite poor. It's not my opinion. That's their own data that they publish. So I want to talk about the Speed by Design ceramic pad, which right now, to my knowledge, is the highest friction coefficient data ceramic pad on the market. This pad actually exceeds the hot bite of your factory pad. So you're actually going to get improved performance. So you're not going back, you're going forward in all areas. So like the Isweep 100, it is a ceramic pad. So you're going to get low dust, long life, silent performance. This pad is a GH rated pad. So you're going to get similar cold bite to your factory pad. and you're going to get exceedingly better bite as the pad actually warms up, something that you want in a performance application, especially those of you who are modified. So by our own data, here's our data that we publish on the pad. You'll find it on our website, and you'll also find it printed on the pad. So our normal cold, just right out the garage, is 0.53. All right, that's going to be a G rating. So the G rating goes up to 0.55. And then our hot rating is 0.563, which is going to put us over 0.55. So that's an H hot friction coefficient. We do that for the front and the rear pads. So you'll see that we use the same friction front and rear. So anywho, the point is to say we sell a lot of these pads. It's been pretty amazing. In the past 4 months, we've sold over 300 sets of pads around the world. I'm very grateful to the community. This is not a shot at Isweep 1500. I don't want to be that guy. That's not the premise of this video. But I do want to educate consumers on what exists, why we do what we do, why we use the friction materials that we use, and because I want safety. I want performance for the community, and I don't want people, I've had people post in the group, well, I bought the Isweep 100 and I do get the low dust, but I also get really poor stopping power, poor bite. And the reason that you're getting that is not my opinion, it's their own data. It shows exactly what the performance of this pad should be. So the moral of the story is really research, forget brands, forget Speed by Design, forget our pads. Go out and look at the data that's published on the pad that the manufacturers are legally liable for, and make sure that you are using a pad that is at least the OE rating. Buy at least a GG. If you don't want to learn all the other technical data, at least make sure that it's a GG or higher rated pad so that you're at least getting at minimum equal to or better performance than the factory pad. So I hope that provides a little bit of basic knowledge to make you a more educated consumer, and at the same time save a little money. I don't know what Isweep charges. I think they're more than us. We're $3.99 for the front and rear pads. So I think we're a very cost-effective option. I think there's a lot of good ceramic frictions on the market. I think we do have the highest friction coefficient, hot for sure. And if you have any more questions, give me a buzz. I'm glad to help. I'm glad to answer any questions that you have. And I really hope that you're enjoying the performance of your pads. Take care.